doing? How are you doing? Happy Friday. Happy Good Friday. How are you doing? So let's talk about this. Where does the wealthy, where do they put their money? If you learn it, you can reapply it and use it for wealth building. If you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I'm a doctor of business and technology, and I help professionals and individuals build wealth the right way. So welcome, welcome, welcome here tonight. So definitely don't leave one thing for sure. If there's anything you want to take out, the world definitely do not put money in the bank. So it's just the middle class, right? The average, the middle class are the ones that actually put money in the bank. The wealthy do not. Okay, so having understood that, that is what we want to talk about. So where did they put their money if they don't leave it in Chase, in Bank of America, or your Wells Fargo or your regular bank? So where did they put their money? Let's talk about that tonight. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, and happy Friday. Yes, it is time to enjoy the weekend. You're ready for the weekend, the long weekend. Welcome. So, why most people, just understand why most people are saving. The wealthy are strategically investing. Understand that savings alone will not help you to build wealth, right? It's not help you with wealth building. Savings alone doesn't help you with wealth building. What helps you to be building is investing. And of course, the wealthy, the multimillionaires and the billionaires, they understand this, okay? And that is the reason why they do not allow their money just sit in the bank, wasting away, and the bank is using their money to build wealth. They are the one building wealth for themselves. That's what we are talking about today. So if they're not putting money in the bank, where then are they putting the money? Where then are they putting the money just so that it's helping them to build wealth? So welcome tonight. So we're going to be talking about um you know we're going to talk about where the wealth they put their money, so you can reapply the same thing shamelessly, because you will definitely get the same result. There's a saying that say that you can't do it something differently and get a different result, or you can't do the same thing and expect a different result. So welcome, welcome here. How are you? Happy Friday. Let me know where you're connecting from. So the wealthy don't put their money definitely doesn't sit in the bank. It doesn't sit there. So that is it. So where do the wealthy put their money, and how can you reapply? Because you need to understand so that you can reapply. So if you're just meeting me, I am Dr. Lina. I'm a doctor of business and technology, and I help the professionals, I help individuals build wealth the right way. Understanding that your salary if it just pays bills, you just keep working over and over again every single day. That's every single day. You do it for years and you realize that you do not step off the hamster wheel. So, but if you do it differently, take some of the money and put it where the world put it, you realize that you would be able to build wealth. So welcome. And if you are yet to subscribe, yes, you are missing something. You want to subscribe as quickly as possible, because the strategy that we use here to build wealth is very clear, simple. It is discipline, consistency, not get rich quick scheme, okay? But it is something that definitely builds lasting wealth. Yeah, it builds generational wealth. That's what we talk about. So where does the world put their money, so you can reapply the same thing shamelessly, reapply it shamelessly? I did spend 8 years in Procter and Gamble, and one of the things that we talk about is don't reinvent the wheel, just shamelessly reapply. Okay, so if you have the millionaires and the billionaires already make this money, where do they put their money if the money is not sitting in the bank? It's the middle class that actually leave money in the bank. Yeah. So where did they put their money? Okay. So while most people are saving, right? The wealthy are strategically investing. So that's the number one thing. Investing is what is going to help you build wealth. Investing, no matter how, people would say investing is risky, but they are the safe ones. They are safe vehicles. That's where the wealthy put their money. Okay. And that's the difference between having working for money and, of course, having money work for you. Because if your money is just sitting in the bank and it gives you 0.01%, what you would see is you just keep working. If you put $10,000 in an account for a whole year with a Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, what did you get? You get a 0.01% interest. That is simply $1 for 12 months. One freaking dollar is what you get for keeping your money in those banks for 12 months. And I hope we all understand that, that the money that you see in your account is just numbers, right? It's just paper. It's just paper, right? Because the money has been traded out to somebody else. They are getting interest 27% through credit cards, mortgages 8%, 7%. That's what they're using your money for. But what do you get in return? 0.01%. So that is the reason why the multimillionaire, the wealthy, do not put their money. Their money doesn't sit in the bank. So you getting $1 on 10,000 a whole year. It doesn't show that you are making any. I mean, it doesn't show that your money is working for you. So if you haven't subscribe as we talk through it. So tonight, where exactly does the wealthy put their money so you can reapply the same thing? Right? And by the way, let me know where you are connecting from, what country, okay? Because I might be in your country the next time. I've been to 22 countries. I love to travel. That's one of my goals. And if you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I help professionals build wealth the right way. So if your goal is to build wealth, you want to end step off the hamster wheel, then you're in the right place, right? You are in the right place. Saving money in your account would not help you build wealth, okay? And one question, where do you currently keep your money? If you care to share, if you put in the comment, is it in the savings account? Do you have it in stock market? Do you have it in real estate? Because those are really the common places. So where do you put your money? And thank you all for sharing the live. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the follow if you haven't. Okay, savings, stocks, or real estate. Where do you put your money, or do you just have it in multiple places? And thank you all for sharing the live. Right, put it in the comment section if you care to share. Right. So let's talk about this. Okay, we'll talk about where does the wealthy put their money. Number one. I want you to, if you can go on Google or go on ChatGPT, one thing that you see, where does the multimillionaire and the billionaires, where do they put their money? So whatever you see on social media, always trust but verify. Okay? That's why I always refer us back to it. Where does the millionaires and the billionaires, where do they put their money? Number one thing that you would see is real estate, or is it an index fund or real estate, index funds or ETF? And number two, real estate, or interchangeably, depending on where you're looking at it. Then you see something about collection, artworks, antiques. You see all of that later, okay? But here, I will stick with, then also there's businesses, right? That's also a part of it. So for here, we'll talk about 3 of those things today, and maybe even 4 of those, depending on how time permits us. So the first thing, when they ask Warren Buffett, they call him Lord of Investing, and he's the owner of Hathaway, Berkshire Hathaway. Is one of the top leading, investment house, right? And when they ask him, where do you put your money? Where should we invest? Which stock should we be buying? He said, simply buy index fund or ETFs. Let compounding do the job. Time in the market over timing the market, right? The time that it is in the market. Rule of 72 says that your money is going to double in 7 years. And even with just simple S&P 500 that's returned money for the past 10, 20, 30 years, averagely between 8 to 12%. Last year, it returned 18%. So it says if you put your money averagely in even just the barest minimum, S&P 500, at 8 to 12%, in 7 years, your money doubles or even less, okay? So, and it says, that is what it said, okay? Plus what you saw on Google, which is ETF index funds, okay? And of course, S&P 500 already returning between 8 to 12%. That already puts you, if you are worried about investing, that should give you some level of comfort to just say that instead of you putting it in a bag, giving 0.01%, you are just basically putting it in an investment vehicle that it's almost safe. And what is ETF? Like I was talking about, what is ETF and why do the wealthy put their money there? ETF is just it's called exchange traded funds, right? So it is a basket of shares and basket of stocks. Shares or stocks interchangeably. What are shares? What are stock? You're a beginner investor. You don't even know what it is. Okay, let me break it down. Okay, stocks and share. It's you investing in a company. You becoming owner of a particular company. So think about it. Let's think about things that is very popular. Your iPhone. You probably have an iPhone on Android, right? Apple owns iPhone as a company. That is the name of the company that built iPhone. Because of that, you would have, okay, this iPhone that I love so much, can I buy part of this company? With your $100, with your $50, or with a whole, amount of a share, you can actually invest your $100, $1,000, or 10,000, regardless of the amount, in that particular company. That's you owning part of it. What this means is, as the company is growing, right? Is having growth and its profit and all of that, all your money that you have in there is also going to be growing. That's basically shares. Okay, now ETF on the other hand, remember I said it's a basket or a bouquet of stocks or shares. What does this mean? Think about it. Instead of you now saying that you like Amazon, but then you also like Starbucks, but also you like Costco because you shop there because you're in the United States, or you like Walmart, or you like Carvana. Some of those different companies that you like, many of them. And because of that, you said, okay, but I only have $100. This $100 cannot buy all of these companies. Instead of that, you are buying all of that in as an inside that basket of ETFs. So with your $100, you can buy multiple of companies, invest in multiple of companies with just your $100, and that is the beauty of ETFs. With your 10,000, you can do the same thing. Let's tap out the life. Let's share the life with friends and family so that they can come and learn. So ETFs give you exposure to the broad market, so you are not just limited to one company. What does this do for you? Why does the wealthy put their money? Because it helps them to diversify. Think about it. Let's assume something happens to Apple goes down. You have only put your money in Apple. If it goes down, what does it mean? Your money also goes down with it, right? That's where people lose money. But if you buy an ETF, if you have Apple in there, you have Amazon in there, you have oil like Exxon in there, you have so many of these companies in there. If one stock goes down, what you realize is there is some other stocks that are going up. Even with the war, right? The unrest that with the unrest that is happening right now, you can already see, like an Exxon, the oil companies are still going up, right? They are still definitely going up. Kenzo, thank you so much for the likes, and everyone that is here. Thank you all for tapping out the live. SK, thank you for SK 2000. Thank you all for tapping out the live. It just helps this live to also increase. And you might be wondering, the YouTube community, we have both the TikTok and the YouTube community streaming on both two different platforms right now, just so for productivity, and you can also we can for more reach as well. So thank you all for tapping out the live, just in case you're wondering. So that is the beauty of ETF. ETF would help you diversify exposure to the broad market. You are not just buying, you can buy the top 500 company in the United States. You can buy, that is a VOO, IVV, SPY. It's just the brokerage firm that are different. You can buy the entire US market. You can buy a VTI. You can buy the entire, you can even buy international. I think that's VTI. You can buy VXX You can just buy the entire US market. That is how you invest. What does this do for you? It just helps you to diversify and spread your risk. So if one goes down, taking like an S&P 500, if one goes down, 499 is still there to lift up that portfolio. So, and that is why it has returned averaging between 8 to 12%, right? That's why it has returned like an S&P 500. It has returned that. So the other part of it is that it gives you long-term growth. Like I said, rule of 72 with simple S&P 500. Rule of 72, you double your money in 7 years, right? And that is almost like, okay, you know what? It's almost a no-brainer versus the Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, where you get $1 on your $10,000. $1 is what you get year one. Year 10, you are so blessed because you get a $10 return. That's what you're going to get in 10 years with your $10,000 invested. I mean, put in the savings account in any of those banks. The other part of it, or the other part of the story, is, if you put that same 10,000 in 7 years, you have 20,000 or more. The limit, the barest minimum, is your money is going to double. So that is the beauty of ETFs, and that's where the wealthy, right? That's why the wealthy put their money right there. The other part of it is that it helps you to long-term growth, right? Because you leave it there, it grows, it doubles its value every 10 years, right? Every 7 years. That is how you build wealth. The other places where they put money, the reason why they also put money there is it's passive. It's unlike real estate where you have to, you know, attend to tenants, you have to do this, you have to, do inspections from time to time. It is highly passive. You can literally open your account right now. You can, if you're wondering how to open it, Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, Robinhood in the United States, or Ameritrade. There are quite a number. Or just go on Google, top top brokerage firm, and pick whichever one, read their review and pick whichever one works for you, right? And then the other thing that you can also, if you're in Canada, Wealth Simple is there for you, right? Wealth Simple is there. If you're in UK, Trading 212 is there for you to utilize. And the other part of Europe as well, Trading 212. If you're in Africa, you're in Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, there is Bamboo, there is Stambika BTC, there is Investment One. Or just simply go on Google or ChatGPT, brokerage firm, solid brokerage firm, or best brokerage firm where I can buy S&P 500, or where I can trade, and boom, you can open it under 5 minutes and you're good. So that is how easy it is, right? And you can also set it to go. So where you do direct deposit from your paycheck every single month, it goes into that account, and it automatically, you set it to make whatever asset class you're buying. You want to buy VOO, SCHG, whatever you're buying, you set it one time and the money records, it deducts every single time, buys it for you, and you don't even need to look at it. And guess what? 7 years, your money doubles its value, is increasing its value. So that is the beauty of ETF right there. Can we share the live? Can we all be tapping? And if you have not subscribed on YouTube, consider subscribing as well. Yeah, welcome here. So we're talking about ETF is what we're starting. The first thing where the world they put their money is ETF or index funds, okay? And then compounding, right? I always say compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Why do I say this? If you simply put $100 every single month, right? Every single month. So that's like 50. If you're getting your paycheck every 2 weeks, that's $50, right? $50 every. If you simply do that from age 20 to 65, you have over $1 million, and you put it in an S&P 500. This is change, right? This is money that is less than, is that even up to $3 a day, with your $100. But the only thing is the time in the market. Take some time. The time that you spend in the market is what is going to give you that. That is over $1,096,000 is actually what you're going to get. So that is, that's a beauty of real estate. Money do not matter. Yeah, it's okay for you. Everybody has got their own option, but lack of money, what does it do for you? That's what we always say. I know that it might not matter, but the lack of money, what does that do for you, right? One thing I know is that money gives you option. It gives you options to live life to the fullest. It gives you options to have a better quality of life, right? That is what money does for you. It gives you freedom. Money is not the goal, right? Money is just a tool. The goal in itself is financial freedom, freedom to live life at your own term. But what does money help you to do? Money is just a tool to gain that financial freedom. Because think about it, you have kids that are hungry. How are you going to be? So that is the reason. Money is not the goal. Money is just a tool to achieving financial freedom. Okay, financial freedom is the goal. So compound interest is, call it the eighth wonder of the world, because think about it. If you put $100,000, right, $100,000 one time, that's what you put all the, it means that in 10 years, just not being doing the barest minimum, in 7 years it means that it becomes 200,000. In 14 years it becomes 400,000. In 21 years it becomes 800,000. And then in 28 years, right, in 28 years it becomes 1.6 million. You might look like 28 years is a long time, right? It's a long time, right? But guess what? People are, what does the system say? It says you should work 9 to 5 every single day, or 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday, and then you do it for 45 years. And people are rushing and they are praying to get that job and do that. But to just do that for 28 years, 100,000, it becomes, oh, it's a long time. But 45 years is not a long time. It's just psychology. It's just brainwash and psychology. So that's why, in the whole process, ensure that you are investing. You are paying yourself first in that work that you do. I don't have a problem with people working, but whenever you get your paycheck, make sure you are setting some aside towards investing so that you can gain your financial freedom. Remember, it's a goal, right? It is, your financial freedom is the main goal. To be able to step off the hamster wheel, to be able to end the rat race, end the paycheck to paycheck cycle, and get your freedom. Your ability to work because you want to work, not because you have to work to pay bills, right? A lot of people are just working because they want to pay bills. If they have the option, they will not do it. Yeah, thank you so much, Kenzo. Thank you so much for that. And let's keep sharing the live. Thank you for tapping out the live. Thank you for tapping out the live. Thank you for sharing it. And if you're wondering how to share, just press my forehead. This is for TikTok community. Press my forehead on the screen, and of course share it, and you would see it. Your contact, and then you share with them, and that is how it works. Thank you so much for the roses. And if anyone else also go popular, you can find it there. You just also get this community, to the FYP, so you have more people sent here so that they can learn how to build wealth. It is just very easy. It's amazing the way, it's just very easy to build wealth. So far you have a job, you have income that is coming in, right? And you are disciplined and you are consistent and you are here to delayed gratification. It's just very easy to build wealth, right? Because if you are just using it towards depreciating lifestyle liabilities, that's what you see. But if you use it towards appreciating cash flowing assets, you realize that you are building wealth, right? Building wealth. Okay, that's what differentiates the wealthy and the middle class. Okay, so having said that, ETF is number one. ETF is, we just talked about ETF compounding. So S&P 500. So what are the ETFs that I buy, right? S&P 500. So like an IVV, like an SPY, or like a VOO, pretty popular VOO. They all track the top 500 company in the United States. That's what they do, right? What does this mean? All top 500 companies, it's actually reviewed every December. Based on their performance, based on their revenue and their assets and all of that, they rate them. So you would see some companies fall off every end of the year or periodically. So it is the top 500 companies in that particular portfolio. And when I say the different names, like the ticket symbol, which is VOO, SPY, AVV, the difference between them is just basically maybe the fees and because there are different brokerage firms. Like the VOO is owned by Vanguard, is the one Vanguard's product, right? It's just different product for different brokerage firm. Like IVV, I think that's BlackRock. Like SPY, that is State Street, right? That is, that's their own product. And all of them, they're pretty decent. They're not like the fees are not like the managed portfolio. This fee structure is, they are basically in their 0.001 versus managed, which is about 1% to 1.5%. So it is pretty low, and all of them has pretty return decently. Okay, they've pretty return decently. So S&P 500, any of those three, you can IVV, VOO, SPY, good, right? Like I said, return 18%, and they've returned between 8 to 12% in the past 30 years or even more, right? So that's one. The other place where I put my money is technology. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a doctor of business and technology. I'm not a doctor of medicine. I'm a doctor of business and technology, and because of that, my day job, I'm a vice president of technology, and I also lecture, kids in college on AI, cybersecurity, and deep learning. So I know that technology is now, it's the future. AI is taking people's job. So I know that, and it just makes sense for you to actually, make sense for me, to actually invest in technology, right? Just like every other person. So that is the other one, and that is like a QQQM. Okay, you can actually invest. That's the ticket symbol right there that you would use whenever you are buying. You've opened the brokerage account. That is how you buy. And then number three, where I put money, is SCHD, like dividend income. So this tracks the top dividend kings, like companies that have paid dividends for the past 100 years, like a Procter and Gamble. That is what that tracks that, and you are not just only getting growth here, you are also getting cash flow. The growth is not so aggressive, but the thing about it is that it also returns dividends. It means that whenever you have profit sharing, whenever it comes to this particular one, because you're getting dividends every single month, right? It's just like, you would have probably heard maybe from friends, or you see it online, where people would say, oh, you know what, it's the dividends that is funding my life, right? It's the cash flow from, that's what it means, because you still have your principal, but the cash flow that it returns every single month, that is what some people, I mean, but you need to have a huge capital, right? A huge capital invested to be able to do that. So that is the beauty. That is the beauty of ETFs right there. And that's number three. So one is S&P 500, two is technology, which is the QQQQQQM, SCHD, which is dividend, and the third one, which is REITs, real estate ETF. It's called REITs, right? That's the other one. The only thing is I don't put so much money in this one, because I'm already, the other parts where the wealthy put their money, the multimillionaires and the billionaires, which is number two, I've already diversified into that, and we're going to be talking about that, right now. With ETF, consistent investing is a strategy. It helps you to drive discipline. It gives you comfort if you are just starting. So this is where the wealth starts, but that's not where it ends, right? It is not where it ends. So the second one, where the wealthy put their money, right, and you should reapply shamelessly, and I have reapplied shamelessly, is real estate. Real estate is there's a reason why they love it, because it pays you, it gives you four paychecks. Number one, it gives you cash flow. Number two, it gives you equity. Number three, it gives you appreciation. And of course, number four, it gives you tax strategies, tax benefit, right? That's why a Mr. Donald, okay, Mr. President will not pay some taxes, or he does, he will tell you that it's taxes. So that's why, because he has so much in real estate. You have Trump Tower everywhere, and that's the reason. That's why you, as whoever is a middle class, will pay. You might be paying more taxes than him, right? Because there are tax strategies or tax advantages that come with you owning real estate, right? So there's some things that you can use against your W-2, right? That you can use to reduce how much you're going to be paying in terms of taxes. Those are the things. That's a benefit of real estate right there. And I'm not going to talk so much on this. I am because I'm hosting. So if you are something that interests you, I'm hosting a free real estate training, April 11th and April 12th. You can find the link in my bio, or just send me a message, a DM, and you will get a message that is going to tell you about it. The class is already filling up quickly, and once the class is full, it's going to teach you all of the different strategies to buy real estate. You're going to learn how to the strategies. You're going to learn how to like the deals, how to analyze the deal, how to get renters, what to deal with bad situations, You're going to be learning from somebody. I have handled real estate and own and manage double digit real estate portfolio. And on top of that, I have done this for over a decade. So there are some things that you probably would not learn in the book that I have already experienced. So things like people printing fake documents, how do you identify that? And then how do you deal with a difficult tenant? How do you ensure that your tenant, you are making sure that your money you are receiving your money every single month, and you also are not a slave to a tenant? Those are the things. And how do you even identify a good deal? And even if you're a first-time homeowner, a lot of things that I always hear, or people DM me every day. So, Dr. Lina, I want to invest in real estate, but I don't know where to get started. Now is your opportunity. Or, Dr. Lina, I don't want to, I want to start real estate, but I don't have the down payment. We'll talk about the strategies that you need to use, states that are very friendly. When it comes to real estate investing, we'll talk about all of that. So if you want that free training, it's 11 and the 12th, send me a DM or just simply go to my bio. You'll find it. And if you're wondering where that is, I'll just show you because it's not everybody. So on TikTok, you see it right here. You see, where this link is. It's nestu.me right there. And you would click on open anyway. And then you can find the product here, right here. You'd see it, how to buy your first renter in 90 days, right there. Even with your 9 to 5, that is it right there. So you can actually, or if you want to get a one-on-one, of course that one is paid. If you want to get the ebook, but you'd see it. It takes you a minute to register, but like I said, the class is getting really, really full because it is not just it's everybody. It's going to be outside of outside of all the platform. It's my entire community from all of the different platforms, from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. We're doing it on Zoom. So and that once the class is full, like I said, it is full, and that's it. So you want to register early so that and book, get you ready, because it's going to be real practical section. You would be able to analyze it, and you should be confident. After, you should be confident to be able to, buy your rental property in 90 days. That's what it takes. 90 days, because it requires processes. When it comes to real estate, it's not like ETF or stock market where you can register right now, open the account on Monday and start to do everything under 20 minutes. You can start investing under 20 minutes. That's the beauty of. But when it comes to real estate, it's a process. It's a process. So you have to think about your credit. You have to think about the down payment. You have to think about where do you want to buy. I always say, do not go and invest in real estate blindly. Right? Don't be like me that lost $100,000, close to $100,000 in stock market because I was doing day trading that I don't know anything about. I was doing I was buying penny stocks that that went to zero. I also did a bit of options trading, and I lost close to like $100,000. Right? Yeah, it's not everybody that can swallow that. So, having said that, that's why I am doing this training. It's my birthday month, and it's a $1,000 value, and it's going to go back to that after the training. I'm not going to be holding anything back. Do as much as possible, and except somebody needs an unholding after, that is the only time you probably need me. All right, but real estate, I love it. Okay, I love it because it gives you cash flow every month. Like on the first. I got my paycheck as a vice president of technology on the 31st or March. On the 1st, I am getting my paycheck, the sweet one, every single, I was just getting zil. Those are the things that solid, money that comes into the account it doesn't require my sweat. It doesn't require my time, and that is how I was able to, on the first, that is the beauty of real estate right there. The other part of it is appreciation. Just like rule of 72, when it comes to real estate, it doubles its value every 10 years. It grows by every 10% every year. But in 10 years, the one that we bought in 2017 has already doubled its value. So having said that, that is the beauty of real estate right there. That's the beauty of real estate. It doubles its value, and with 250,000, you can control $1 million. If you're just even with less than 250,000, you can control $1 million because you are able to leverage. You can do BRS strategy. You can do fix and flip. Fix and flip. You can do short-term rentals. You can do house hacking. These are so many strategies. You can use real estate as a business where you are using it and you are using the house as group home. So you are not just getting just long-term mortgage. You are also getting using it as a business because you are using the house for additional business for you. So those are really, really, really the benefit. And of course, the tax advantages. That one is, you can reduce your taxes by almost 100%. Almost 100%. Just get your tax consultant, do an amazing job. Real estate definitely turns income into ongoing cash flow. All right, it turns your income to ongoing cash flow where you can decide to say that, I can step off the hamster wheel. So if you are looking for a figure salary, all you need is 5 houses paid off. You will get $10,000 or more every single month, and that is going to give you that 6-figure salary. And you can decide to say, I am working because I want to work, or I'm working because I just don't want to work anymore. My houses are paying my bills. That is the beauty. That's what real estate can do for you. And you don't have to sell it. Remember, the home is still there, the property is still there. So that is the beauty of it, right? That is the beauty of it. The other place, that the world they put their money is businesses. Just like I said, I always look at real estate as business, okay? Because for instance, you can use real estate as group home. That group home business is a business in itself that people rent people's homes and they will use it for group home. There's also the part of Airbnb. People do rental arbitrage, rent people's home. I had a tenant that rented my home for Airbnb, right? That is also a form of business. You can actually invest in the real business. Laundromat, you can buy franchise, you can, get franchise of a business, Cold Stone, all of those different, restaurants or whatever, even the USPS or whatever, others, those are businesses that one can do. Those are businesses that the wealthy put their money, not that their money is sitting in the bank. They make their money work for them. But the middle class, they buy the luxury items, right? Depreciation, lifestyle liability, and at the same time, they put their money in the bank account. And that is why they are stuck and they are working to 65 and still do not get financial freedom. So those are the things, and you want to, because if you look at that track record, if you do the same thing, you see that, okay, this is the features of middle class and this is the features of the wealthy. You want to move from middle class to wealthy. All you have to do is emulate what the wealthy is doing. Just do the same thing and you will get the same result. And that's it. You don't have to. A lot of time people just feel that it's so difficult. So they buy businesses. This is where wealth can scale fast, right? The fastest, because understanding no matter how much you earn, 500,000 as a medical doctor or whatever, if you don't manage your expenses well, you'd realize that you are not wealthy, right? Because anything that requires you as an individual to be there, right? It requires you to be there. It means that when you are not there, you cannot make money. If it requires you to be there, then before you make money, then it's not sustainable, right? Because it means, it's sustainable. It's just that you keep working to make that money, to sustain that. But you want something that doesn't require you, okay? And then you are there. It doesn't require you to be there, but you are making money. That is how wealth is built. Because just you cannot, it's not scalable. It's just one you. You cannot have 3, 4 of you, right? But you can have multiple of your money. You can have multiple of your businesses. You can have multiple of your real estate. You can have multiple of, different assets class within the ETF portfolio. And that's how you build wealth, right? Think about it. Businesses help you to own something, right? Just like real estate, businesses help you to own something, gives you ownership. It gives you scalability, like I said, you can scale, unlike you as an individual employee getting paycheck. When you don't show up, there's no money. You don't get paid. You don't show up, you don't get paid. But you can't scale. Scaling means that you want to move from one to two to three. It's not possible. You are just one of you. But with businesses, you can start with one house, then you increase it to two to three, or you can start it with one business, you increase it to two to three to four. That is how wealth is built. Anything that is limited, that is not scalable, it's going to keep you limited. Then higher income potential, because of course, because you are having multiple sources, right? Multiple sources, you realize that your income will be higher compared to somebody that is just doing the work. Think about it. I always say something. I mean, there's this it's out there. The wealthiest person, I mean, the CEO, the highest paid employee gets less than 1/10 of what the owner of the company does. So it means that the highest paid employee, if he earns $1 million, the owner of the company definitely is earning 10 million. That's it. Okay, so I'd rather take 10 million over 1 million. So of course, that is the higher income potential when it comes to being an owner, right? And then control over your earnings, right? Because think about it, which they said Oracle yesterday laid off how many? Laid off 30,000 people. That is not just 30,000. It's not 30,000 individuals. That's 30,000 families, right? That is somebody's husband. That's somebody's wife. That is somebody's life. Children, income ended, 30,000, and the business continue as usual. That's what, you don't have control over your earning. But when it comes to your business, you can control who you put in your house. If they're not doing well, you get them out, get another person in. Or if you are doing a business, if you put more effort in there, your chances of the business succeeding is very high. Okay, so that is just the beauty of real estate. So of businesses. Example of businesses, like online businesses, sell on City Shop. You don't even have to, sell on what's it called? What's the other on Amazon, on online businesses. Those are options for you. You can also do service businesses, right? Where I am creating some form of service. If I'm doing one-on-one consultancy, when my clients reach out and we do one-on-one consultancy and I help them with their portfolio to start growing their portfolio, that is a form of service, right? That I'm creating right there. You could you have a skill that your employer is paying you for, right? That skill, you can actually use it as a form of service where somebody is going to be paying you for that same service. So there are also service-based, form of business. Another one is investment in businesses, right? Franchise. The people that own McDonald's, I hope we know individual owns McDonald's, individual owns some of the laundromat, individual owns that Cold Stone. So we all need to here, I can never talk about all of this and not talk about mindset shift. Whenever you are in some place, think about it. How can I own this thing? You like iPhone so much. Every single year you are upgrading it. Think about it. How can I own Apple? How can I own Apple? Right? You can simply buy the ETF. You can own it as a business. Or how can I love Starbucks? How can I own a Starbucks? Right? Whatever that thing, think about, change your mindset from being a consumer to being an owner. That is how you create wealth, right? Think about, how can I add value? How can I create wealth? Those are options for you right there. Always think about that, right? Investment in businesses, right? And how do you do this? You need to save a portion of your income, because you're thinking, so where do I get the money to even invest in? Your money right there, it's part of your income. That income, the thing that you're using to impress other people, trying to show off, right? There's a middle class we are of the opinion, middle class would try to look wealthy instead of being wealthy. Olep, thank you for the follow. I thought you had followed before. I don't know what. Yeah. So the middle class would definitely how do I put it? Middle class are the one that is trying to look wealthy. The wealthy doesn't want to impress because he's already wealthy. So I always say that, always think about, are you yourself, just be wealthy. Focus on you being wealthy that versus trying. If you spend the same effort that you're using to, it's like counterproductive because you're trying to look wealthy. However, the money you're using to try to look wealthy, if you use that money to put it towards businesses and all of that, businesses, you realize that you become actually wealthy. So, and becoming actually wealthy, why are you doing the pretense when you can actually be the real deal? Because looking wealthy doesn't make you wealthy. It still doesn't change the fact that your account is empty. It still doesn't change the fact that you are living paycheck to paycheck. It still doesn't change the fact that if you lose that job today, you cannot fund your bill for another 3 to 4 months. So, or why not just put yourself in the position to actually be wealthy rather than trying to look wealthy? It's just very counterproductive, right? So understand that. So businesses will create unlimited income potential, and that is where the wealthy put their money in there, right? So you already have it: ETF, index funds, real estate, businesses, right? Those are numbers. Three things. They do not put their money in savings account. Savings account, no. The only kind of savings account that you would see that they will leave money, the only money that will be in the savings account will be your emergency fund for 3 to 4 months, 3 to 6 months. It's just in case of emergency. Like I said, 30,000 people were laid off in Oracle. They did not see it coming. But the smart ones that have already saved for the emergency days, they'll be okay for another 3 months, 6 months while they look for another job. And if another job comes within that period, guess what? They will be fine. They will not be hurt in any way. But if you do not save for it, what happens is that for the part of the 30,000, what you realize is that some of them right now, they are already having sleepless nights. Some of them cannot even pay their bills for next month. So you don't want to wait for it to happen before you start taking actions, right? So, and where do you put this? Your 3 to 6 months emergency. Where do you put it? You put it in an high yield savings account. You don't even leave it in an account, because in a savings account, not Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, because those are the worst. The worst of the worst. The only thing you can do with them is maybe your money, your income just come in there. That's all you can do. But because every dollar, remember, you're working so hard for your money. 40-hour shift, you're getting $200. I mean, 10-hour shift, 8-hour shift, you're getting $200. You're getting $500. Shouldn't you? That's your life that has been traded away for money. Then somebody is now giving you nothing. So what should you do? Put it in your emergency fund in an IU savings account. IU savings account will give you 3 to 6% returns every single month. I mean, annually. So, but it pays you every month. So it's just like it's your regular savings account. So if you can open a Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, then you can open any of this account. You can open a Capital One. It gives you 3.3%. And that is the closest. That's like the closest to the regular bank. And with Capital One, you can also get a 300. I think once you have a direct deposit, you will get a $300 bonus, right? For you to even open an account with them, which is free money that you can invest as well. And it doesn't really matter how much. They don't require any minimum payments or whatever. It's just the direct deposit. If you want me to send you the link to Capital One, you can send me a DM and I'll send you the link right there to get your $300 bonus. But it gives you 3.3% and is the one that is, I think after Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, Capital One is just right there, right? The other ones, SoFi is there, Vero is there. SoFi gives you 4%, any of those banks. Or just go on Google and just simply type top 500 IU savings account in April 2026, and you will see it right there. Make sure, read the reviews, whichever one you're comfortable with, but make sure that it is FDIC insured, so that in case it goes down, the bank goes down, you are getting your money. It's protected, it's safe, because it is backed by the US government and protected up until 250,000. So if the bank goes down, the government is going to pay you, the insurance is going to pay you your 250,000 back. But anything above 250,000, you want to move it to somewhere else. And there's no reason why you should even have more than 3 to 6% in an IE savings account, because it just gives you 3 to 6%. But you can put it in ETF like an S&P 500 and get 8 to 12% conveniently. So why try to, when you can get the double, why are you keeping it at the little? Okay, because you want to ensure that your money is working at better than you do. If you haven't followed, consider following. If you haven't, thank you for all of those people sharing the live and tapping out the live. Thank you all. And those are the 4 places, right? 4 places: ETF, real estate, businesses, IU savings account for the emergency fund. The other part of it that they also put money, but you can only achieve this as a business owner, is tax strategy. This is a lot of people don't even talk about this, but I mentioned it earlier. With real estate, that's why Mr. Trump that's why he has low taxes, right? You might be paying more than him, because he's heavily invested in businesses and real estate. And that is, a lot of us, April 15 is around the corner for filing taxes, the deadline. So those are opportunities for you to get some free $10,000, $8,000 from the government, and you do it legitimately. It's within the tax code. You are not doing anything wrong. It is within the tax code. So tax efficiency, right? Deductions, real estate tax benefits, right? Stephanie, welcome, and every other person that is here. It helps you to keep more of your earnings in your pocket. More of your earnings is what you get in your Love, welcome. More of your earning is what you see in that, with tax benefit and tax advantages. Kenzo, thank you for tapping out the live. Love, Stephanie, Badu, Anne Marie, Memoy, Colorado. Yeah, Braid, all of you, welcome here, and thank you all for sharing the live. Thank you all for tapping out the live. Heavily, thank you for doing that. So, where the wealthy put their money, we talked about the IU savings account, emergency fund, for the emergency fund, real estate, ETF, and of course businesses, right? In any time, you can open it tomorrow. In terms of, you said, when is the best time of the year to invest in IE savings account? IE savings account is not, I won't call it an investment, because it's just a savings account. It's just a higher interest savings account. So it's just your normal Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo. But these some banks have just your regular bank give you 0.01%. However, we have some bank like a Capital One will give you 3.3%. Right, and also give you a bonus of $300. If you want the code, DM me and I will send it to you. SoFi will give you 4%. Vero will give you 5%. And you get your money every single month, right? Your returns every first of the month is in your account. So it's your regular bank account. I hope that clears it. And your credit union, you can also check with them what investment or what IU savings programs do they have. So you can do it. You can do it tomorrow. There's no time. It's just a regular bank account, right? There's no big. It's not. I don't know how to describe. It's just your regular bank account. That's what it is. But it's just a higher interest. That's the difference. It's just you open this regular account. They give you one is greedy, very greedy, and gives you 0.01%. And there's another one that says, oh, you know what, because I'm lending your money anyways to some people, I'm using your money for credit, I'm giving loans, using your money, I want to share the profits with you, give you 3 to 5%. So you really don't have any business with all of those big banks. You really don't have any, because if it's just like on a 10,000 you get $1 a whole year. So that is it right there. Okay, it is not just, and also understand, it is not just about making money, it's about keeping it. Well, my video on Instagram got 1.5 million views and it's still growing. And one of the things that I was looking at, it was just basically everybody was focused on the income that was olden. Like I'm saying that this is how many hours of somebody's life, right? Everyone was really focused on that, and the comment section is absolutely terrifying with over 5,000 comments. And then I said, okay, there's just too much knowledge gap within the system, because people are just for it is not about how much you earn. And I say this again, it is so far you are getting minimum wage. I think minimum wage is $7 or $8. I don't even know what it is. The minimum wage, in that minimum wage you are still paying taxes, right? They will not say because it's minimum wage now you don't pay taxes, you don't have to pay tax. You still pay taxes. So if you can still afford to pay taxes on your minimum wage, then there is no reason why you should not still, even if it's $1, you can buy $1 of investment, because you do the work, and that's the only way you can pay yourself. That is the only way, because if you are just using it to fund bills, you are not paying yourself. All right. The only way you can pay yourself is you're investing in your future when you retire. You're not waiting for your kids to be your retirement plan, or you're waiting for Social Security that might not be. You are already taking care of yourself, right? You see some people that earn 50,000. They would say, okay, the entire family income for the longest time is 50,000, but we are able to live below their income. Below their means, they are still saving 10,000 every year, and you realize that they become $1 million. Become a millionaire at retirement. But guess what? What you Mitsuri, welcome here. How are you? Let me know where you're connecting from. Basically what you realize that people would earn income and their expenses is matching their income. Yeah, it's matching their income. What does this simply mean? When your income is here, regardless of anyone, have you heard of footballers or all those superstars that are making or what's this man, is it Mike Tyson or something? Did we hear that he got bankrupt? Because it's not a function. I mean, some people that are making millions and per show, right? But guess what? Because their expenses is even above the income, and then they are not investing, you would hear that they become bankrupt, that this person filed bankruptcy. So if it's about how much you earn, then those people should not file bankruptcy. They should not have any reason, right? Because they are making millions, they are making hundreds of millions. But guess what? Some of them still go bankrupt. And you see something, a teacher, and I'm not downgrading any career, that is any 50,000, 70,000 would retire and get to millionaire status, in their 401k. And that's why you always hear me when I say, I'm not talking about millionaires. I'm saying multi-millionaires and billionaires, because with 401k, you'll be so amazed with a lot of people with over $1 million in their 401k, just with their little income, right? And they just simply invest consistently, allow time in the market to do the job. They allow compound interest to do the job. They are not chasing hypes. They're not chasing get rich quick scheme. And by the time they are retired, they are enjoying their life. Right? So that is the beauty. That is the difference between the middle class and how the wealthy, how they manage their money, that helps them to continue to increase their wealth. Right? That's how they do it. Right? So always understand that the wealthy don't just rely on one thing, they rely on a system, right? Rely on the system, they rely on, and you're wondering, should I just buy ETF? Should I do this? Should I do that? Why not do everything, right? Diversification is key. They do ETFs to grow their wealth. They have real estate that produce income. Have it as businesses to scale the income, and that strategy to protect it. So they have like trust, so that you don't work for somebody and somebody says it falls in your house with the same water that you put there. You don't know anything, and then all of a sudden they are suing you and you lose your income. So you lose your wealth. So they also use tax strategy. They use all of those different strategies to continue to build the wealth. Wealth is built through strategy, not just income. At least we've established that. if you are just getting paycheck and paycheck and all you do is to pay bills, you cannot build wealth. You are just simply a poor dad, right? Whenever you are able to do something, you don't have to work, but guess what? Or your presence is not needed, but you're able to get money. Regardless, your money is working for you. Then that's when you get the freedom that you need, right? Because right now your vacation is controlled, your time that you can spend at home is controlled. So, and that's why I said money is not the goal. Money is just a tool. The freedom is the goal, right? And the reason why a lot of people do that money that is not a tool towards freedom is what is holding you back right now from you getting your freedom. And that is that your 9 to 5 or whatever you're doing to be able to pay bills. So you need to make sure that that money is managed properly. You use some of them towards depreciating lifestyle liabilities. So utilities, rent, a little bit to make yourself happy on vacation because you're working to manage your own end. But guess what? You make sure that you are putting a chunk of money, a chunk of it towards appreciating cash flowing asset. Like what I just talked about earlier, where the wealthy put their money, appreciating cash flowing assets. It now cash flows for you. And then once you are able to replace your income, right? This is your income with this appreciating cash flowing asset, then it gives you the freedom that you need. Freedom is the goal. Just think about it. This job that you just did the end of the whole week, you were tired. Now you have 2 days to rest. But guess what? Think about it, still earning that income, but you don't have to go back to work on Monday. You don't have to be at work on Monday. How does that feel? But you're still going to be earning the same six-figure salary. So that is the freedom right there. Freedom right there. So just to close, most people leave money in the bank. That's the worst thing. We've already established that. No single money. You should have 4 account system, okay? And watch my latest video. 4 account system is what you should operate, okay? So when your money comes in, that is your income account, right? When your money comes in on the 31st, income account, it goes in there. But it's just a distribution center. From that page, from that account, you fund your emergency fund. It goes into an IU savings account for your emergency fund to get it to 3 to 6%. Then you have your bills account. The bills account, of course, that's the lifestyle liabilities, right? Your utilities, your housing, all of that. Something to also make you happy to, decent. And then the biggest one, right? The biggest one, it should be your wealth account, your investment account. So having your 401k, okay? Having your Roth IRA, and of course having your brokerage account. That's that one. And as it continues to grow, put some of the money, start using it towards down payment for a real estate. And then once you have real estate, it start giving you cash flow, right? From that cash flow, so you start diversifying and start buying businesses. And that is how wealth is created. That is how, you can we're working because you want to work, not because you want to pay bills. Because I hope you understand that retirement is not age. It's not about age, really. It's not. It's retirement it's just the government trying to put a particular day, 65, 59 and a half. I don't know how they created that. They are the ones that created. But for you, your retirement can be the day that your income right now or your desired income is replaced with something that doesn't require a person to be there. That is your retirement age. It could happen at 35. It could happen at 40. Somebody retired at, Mr. Gregory at 52. Queen, it was at 53, but it doesn't mean you can still do 65 if that's what you so desire. But have options. Let your options be there to say that, okay, you know what? I am not working to have bills paid. I am working because I want to work. I just enjoy what I do and I'm just using it to, basically that is it. So most people leave money in the bank, okay? That is a no-no. The wealthy don't do that. And wonder why it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow because it's 0.01%. On your $100,000, you will get how much? $10 in a year, right? 0.01%. That's how crazy it is, right? But with 100,000, you will get at least, it puts your 10,000 in an S&P 500, you get 1,800. 100,000, you will get 18,000. 18,000 is what you get. So you understand. And but if you put it in a bank, you get $10. 10 beautiful dollars is what you get. All right. It doesn't even buy you lunch. That's how crazy. Is it $10 or $100? Yeah, that's about because the 0.01% I was getting with Bank of America, Chase, both of them, they are brothers and sisters. They just bundle of, you know, and the wealthy put their money to work. So middle class, they use their own money to impress. Wealthy use their money to work. They don't put their money, they're not trying to impress anyone. And that is really the major difference. All right, you have it right there. Any question? Just again, for those that are joining, that just joined, I'm hosting a free real estate training as part of, enabling others, giving back. It's my birthday month. It's a $1,000 value, and I'm giving it for free, April 11 and 12. It's going to be a live training. It's going to be on Zoom, but it's going to be free, but you have to register. The link to register, it's in my bio. You would find it in my bio right there. If you're wondering where it is, just right here, you would see it here. Next huge right there. You see it here. Next huge, you click next huge me, click on it. It brings you here just to trick you, and then you click open anyway. When you open it, you see the products right there. It's the last one right there, and it's $0. But once the class is full, the class is filling up quickly. I just started talking about the 2 days, and I think I have over 50 people right now or more already in the class, and buy your first rental property in 90 days. Yeah, and once we have limited spots, once the class is full, it's full. So if you are struggling to register, send me a DM, and you will be able to send you the link so you can get registered as well. It's free training. It's your opportunity to learn from somebody with a double-digit real estate portfolio, and of course, with decades over a decade in real estate investing. So that is your opportunity to learn. So you've been having questions. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do it. We'll be analyzing deals. We'll be talking about the different strategies that we have. And so that's it right there. Lori, Real Talk, welcome. And every other person joining, welcome here. Any question? And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'll be sending an email out to everybody that's registered to go and watch this video on YouTube. It's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Hey, Laurie. How are you?
The first rental as real estate one day, but they never set clear timelines. Here's the truth. You can actually buy your first rental property in just 3 months. If you start today, that means by January 2026, you could be collecting your first rent check. In this video, I will show you exactly how, step by step. This is the same roadmap I used to build my own double-digit property portfolio.
So it's just going to tell you the steps, things that you can start working out on right now. That's going to help you. Hey, thank you, Laurie. Things that would help you already. But do you have a question, Abim? I see that you are requesting, and if anybody wants to request up, I think we have another 8 minutes. Thank you so much for the Go Popular, Laurie. Yeah, if anybody wants to have a question. Yeah, so do you have a question, Abim Bola, or did you just request?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, you can stay on mute then, or I can just drop you down. All right. Great. Awesome. Anyone that wants to, we have a few more minutes. Thank you so much, Laurie, for the Go Popular. Any question? If you have any question about the training that is coming April 11th and April 12th, let me know. Or you have any question at all about ETF, about real estate. You said, I want to see the video. What's the date? Let me see. It's on. You mean the one on YouTube? Let me see. The one, I think it was it's 5 months ago. That was October 9. So you see it, October 9 it is. It's on October 9. The video was October 9. But Laurie, what I would say is that you need to see the okay, it's October 9, yeah. So you find it on YouTube. There's so many videos there. And if you haven't subscribed or anyone hasn't subscribed, you want those are free resources right there. I have resources on ETF. You want to start investing in ETF, which one should you buy? How should you buy it? All of them are right there. That's going to definitely help you. But it's Laurie, what I would recommend, and every other person, I'm going to be having a free training, Laurie, since you're interested in real estate investing. I'm having a live training April to 11th and April 12th. So next weekend, right? It's going to be free. It's a $1,000 value, like I said. It's going to be free, but a registration is required. So if you want, you can send me a DM, or you can just go to my bio right here on TikTok right here. You'd see it right here. That's the red one, and you click on it. When you click on it, it takes you here, and you should be able to see the training right here. Yeah, it's free, but you will just be required to register right there. So you'd see it, it's right now it's showing is $0. After the training, the price will change, but that's how you register. Once you register, you get email. Yeah, so yeah, okay. Yeah. You're welcome, Laurie. Thank you so much. So for anybody, and the class, like I said, the class is filling up quickly. We just started talking about it 2 days ago. And right now, I think I have over 50 people. And because we're having so many people come from, it's not just on TikTok. So I have YouTube, I have Instagram, I have Facebook. Everyone is coming into that class. And like I said, I just even started talking about it. And once I have that, I think that maybe the capacity is 100 or something. Once it's sold out, it's sold out. You would see it's going to change right there, sold out. So now it's your opportunity, and that's why I keep talking about. Thank you for sharing the life, Laurie. Even though we're almost rounding up, we're almost rounding up right now. So today we talked about, where does the wealthy put their money? Number one, understand that they do not put their money in the bank. Bank zero, right? Middle class are the ones doing that. So where do you put your money? Emergency fund in your IU savings account. Anyone, credit union, but it must return at least 3%. Capital One returns 3.3%. If you want me to send you the link, they would also give you $300 welcome bonus or something. Welcome bonus. When you register, I can send you the link. Send me a DM. I'll send you the link, and you get a $300 welcome bonus for Capital One, but it returns 3.3%. So that is where you put your emergency fund, right? Emergency fund goes there. But your real fund, it gives you, like ETF, S&P 500 is one place that the wealthy put their money. Do the same thing, you will get the same result. You get S&P 500 has returned between 8 to 12% for the past 30 years, averagely. Last year, it returned 18%. There's something average. So there are times when it's down. But because you are here on the long haul, you're not doing penny stock, you're not doing day trading. So you would enjoy that average. What that means is that, so when it goes down, when it's 18% and when it goes down to 5% in another year, averagely, by the time you're cashing out in 7 years, you should have at least between 8 to 12%. That's what it means. Just in case that you see that, but this year, S&P 500 went lower than 8%. That's why they put the word averagely, full disclosure, averagely, right? So, but since you're here, it's long-term investing. This is not short-term. It's not get-rich-quick scheme. So ETF is the other one. Then the third place where they put their money is real estate. Real estate is a wealth engine. That's what I can call it. It's helped me to build wealth. I cannot lie, right? As well as my income has helped me, because I used it judicially. I allowed delayed gratification. I enabled delay or activated delayed gratification so that I can invest in real estate. And then I invested in real estate. Then it is giving me cash flow. On the first, I can show you You'd see Zale. Let me even show. Let me